Hello and welcome to the Gritty Cuteness. I'm the Monk, and today, yes, we are doing a video for King Arthur Legion 9, or the 9th Legion, depending on which way you want to do it. Now, this is another turn-based character-centered tactical RPG, and as you know, we love turn-based RPGs here at the Critically Curious. Now, it has been published by Neocore Games and developed by them too. It kind of got a ghost release here on console, literally dropping without jumping into the store at all, which is a little bit random. And for only $16.74, this is an absolute bargain already, if you ask me. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown about what this game is, how it plays, kind of features within it, and of course this is just my first impressions. We will be putting a ton more hours into it just to kind of give you a full review at a later date. And of course, if this is the type of video that you want to see, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, you may remember a King Arthur game that we actually featured on this channel last year. Well, this is almost a direct sequel, made by the same people in the same zone, and you're also going to be battling the same people that you played as in this new game, only you're going to be attacking them rather than controlling them, which I think is pretty awesome. Now, much of the same mechanics of that game is in place here too. It is turn-based. You'll be very familiar with, that kind of set, and we'll go over the combat a little bit later, but you also get your own little kingdom to kind of build up, your own little castle to invest in as well, and to, nurture and build up as well. This is, when it comes to combat, you can control up to 6 combatants at one time to take on sometimes absolute hordes of undead. In fact, I think it was only in the second level of the game I came up against waves after waves after waves of enemies, as I had to try and figure out how to win that battle without, of course, killing everyone, because that was at the time impossible. Now, the twist in this game is that it is a Rome inspired. You are literally taking on the role of a dead general, or a general that has almost been resurrected. Now, as you go through establishing, recruiting your own troops, you get to make some big decisions in your game, ending in a huge decision about whether you want to become a demon and an overlord, or whether you want to get your humanity back. I love games that actually give you player agency, and you've got a little bit of choice in this one. Not massive choice, but I do like, good or dark, depending on which way you look at it. Now, the combat is pretty simple, pretty standard. It is grid based, not hexagon grid based, but it is grid based. You can look in 8 different ways, depending on how you want, and depending on which way you look will have an impact on someone else attacking you. Like, for instance, if they come up behind you, they will get backstabbed, and of course that will deal more damage. So actually being strategic in combat can be really important. This isn't going to be one of those games that you're just going to be able to just hack your way through. Actual levels of strategy are going to be needed. Now, there is a lot of different difficulties within this game. There's a huge different variety, and you can also customize your own difficulty as well. So if you're finding the game a little bit too easy, you are able to ramp up that difficulty to a setting that you feel is most comfortable to you. Now, the levels themselves are actually quite long. They're certainly not short. You do get main objectives that you can just beeline through, but there are also little objectives, little quests that you can kind of pop in and get some extra experience and some extra goodies. This is a game where you and your characters do level up, you do acquire better gear as well, and therefore exploring these maps that we kind of like get to be pumped into from each round is really a good idea. The more time we kind of like spend in these worlds, the more experience and gear hopefully we are gonna get. Now, as someone that's very familiar with the franchise and, of course, the genre, I found that it played very well. This game did just kind of like ghost release here on console. And, you know, I'm playing on the Xbox Series X. I had no issues performance-wise with this game. There was a little bit of, you know, graphically picks leaving people's hands and stuff, you know, as they were going from one cutscene to another. But apart from that, it was pretty good. You know, I think the game performed as expected, and again, I had no dashboards or anything like that, which is definitely a plus. This game is also fully voice acted. There are a lot of different cutscenes in here and lots of different dialogue for you to choose between. And of course, there's extra information in this game if you want to look into it as well, which again is what I quite like. I like being able to dig down into the lore of a game if I then choose to. This game definitely gives you the option to do that. Or of course, it gives you a very clear cut points of, hey, if you do this option, this conversation is going to be ended and you get stuck back into that action, which again is another thing that I have quite enjoyed so far. I certainly think it's an interesting point of view to play this as, you know, a legionary or a Roman general and essentially re-establishing Rome's authority within Britannia. I think that is an interesting way to kind of, you know, go about this game. So it's going to be really interesting just to see when we get to the ability of fighting King Arthur's knights, you know, how hard are those battles and how are they going to play out. I'm very intrigued to find it out yet. Like I said, this is just first impressions. I've only been a few hours into the game just yet, so I haven't actually fought any of King Arthur's knights. Now, one thing I should mention is that this is a smaller game in the sense that it does only cost you around £17 depending on which platform you're buying it on, and it takes around, if you're a completionist, around 25 hours to play. Now, of course, it does depend on how fast you're actually able to complete those missions. It's going to depend on the kind of difficulty you have it on, but it is one of those smaller end RPGs. But in a way, again, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, especially if you're familiar with the genre. If you like the previous game, this is going to offer you more of what the first one had to offer. Now we should take just a second to talk about the voice acting within the game. Like I said, this game is fully voice acted. There are quite a lot of cutscenes in it, and I did enjoy it. For the most part, I think it was pretty good. It wasn't the best voice acting in any game I've ever seen, but absolutely, definitely enjoyed it, and it certainly just fits the part.
Is she dead? She is partly dead. Her soul is trapped in a dream that never ends. She is trying to wake up, but she simply can't. Still, we must talk to her. What can you do? I could try something. Through the connection that led us here, I can tie her to our bond. It may bring her back. We have no other choice. Do it.
Honestly, although I'm only a few hours in and I may be biased because I do love turn-based games, I've really enjoyed what I've played so far, and I'm looking forward to just diving further into this game to see what it has to offer and just how fast you can actually complete it, I think, as well. There you have it, guys. That is my first impressions of King Arthur Legion 9. Let me know if you have had a chance to play this game just yet down in the comments. And don't forget, we also have an active and growing Discord. You can find the link for that down in the description of the video. It'd be great to have more of the community inside and where we can talk about this game. But until next time, I'll be the monk who's been Inquisitor Eucudus, and I'll see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.
We are the Knight Legion, the ultimate army of Rome.